What's up, traders? Matt from the Trade Brigade here doing a technical analysis on ticker symbol NRXP for NRX Pharmaceuticals. On the left-hand side, we have the daily time frame, and on the right-hand side, the 30-minute intraday time frame. First things first, this will be an update. It's been a while since we talked about this stock. Back in this area was the last time we did, and obviously on today's session, quite the fireworks show, really across all of these sort of biotech and pharma stocks, with the bad news coming out of Africa, of course. Would never wish that on anyone. However, it did impact some of these stocks in a good way for the price action. Okay, so I want to be very clear about that. So in terms of what's going on from the daily chart, we did fill this gap. Okay, so there was this gap down here when they rejected one of their drugs, and if we pop open the live news tab, it looks like where is it? Around 10 o'clock. Here we go. Effectiveness against one of, there's some research, there's some news about one of their drugs in the pipeline for the sickness that really halted the stock. If we take a look at the 30-minute session, I'm going to go ahead and close that back up. And looking at the 30-minute session, right, the open of the day was actually down here on Friday. And when that news came out, circuit breaker halt to the upside, and it opened way up here. Actually, it opened way up here, closer to $8. So technically, we have a massive intraday gap, which is a very rare thing, and something to pay attention to. So if we start taking out this 659 to the downside, which as of right now, we're actually closer to it than you may think. We're trading at around 699, 695, so right around here. If we start taking that out to the downside, just be very careful, noting that we have an intraday gap that technically has to fill all the way down towards 490. And again, I shouldn't have said has to fill, but has the potential to fill, as there's very little structure in here, very little liquidity, especially looking left in terms of volume. It's not like there's massive positions hiding in here at all, right? Really, the positions are here, and the positions are kind of back up in here, not really in this intraday gap, which we saw. So to me, if we take out this 660-ish mark, we'll just call it for round numbers sake, we'll look out below. Like I really wouldn't want to speculate long if we start breaking down underneath this area. And again, we did see a fairly weak close. If we look at this as just kind of its own day, its own little section here, coming in with the fibs from the high down to the low, what you'll notice is that all of the consolidation essentially happened underneath your 38.2, which of course is the zone where we get bearish consolidation. Breakdown takes us lower. So that's what I'm seeing from here. Obviously, we can't discount the fact, though, that this still is a gap up and it's actually holding, right? So we're not going to be bearish on it until we actually take out that number, and it wants to prove downsides in store. To the upside, it's all about, can we get price acceptance over this shelf? I mean, how obvious is this level right here? If we can start closing candles up above 722, that's where the retracement back up towards the gap fill zone, kind of up here, that's where that unfolds. So this 843 is on the table, and then after that, kind of the 930. That would be the real upside target on the break of this consolidation. All of these people would be probably happy with their position, to be quite frank with you, and looking for upside. So those are the targets. Those are the levels to watch to the upside. That's where the breakout will come from. This is where you want to avoid the stock, of course. And from the daily perspective, right, I want to leave you with this as well. Notice what's going on with this resistance trend line. If I do something like this, although it's not the most beautiful thing in the world, using this as an anchor, touch number 1, touch number 2, that's exactly where the party sort of stopped today, along with the 50 SMA, the gap fill. So I really do think it would require a lot more volume coming into the stock if this is going to be a big momentum move up and over those points of resistance we just pointed out, and it's going to break out into like 1086. And then the real meat on the bone is this trade here from 1086 into about 1388. So it's got some proving itself to do. It is technically still in a downtrend from the daily time frame. It's just all about, this zone right here. Do we open inside? Fine, consolidation, as we know. Do we break out? That puts into play a short-term scalp into this zone of resistance we mentioned, or does it start breaking down, in which case we do not want to be involved with the stock at all. Let's quickly take a look at the trade tab. There are no shares to short, and the put side of the options contract is absolutely pathetic, so you're not actually going to trade this one to the downside. That's really going to wrap up the video. It's as simple as over and under with this little range right here. If you enjoyed it or learned anything new today, let me know in the comments section or by giving the video a thumbs up. Don't forget our main channel is linked in the description, and all of that being said, I wish you a green trading week.